is about investigating the earth heritage in Armenia, a case study of the Ararat Valley. Earth has been used in both global and Armenian architecture for defensive, residential, and religious structures. In the Armenian highland, it has been applied throughout nearly all historical periods. From the Neolithic era to the 20th century, the use of earth remained prominent in the Ararat Valley due to the abundance of clay soil and scarcity of other natural materials. Aim and objectives of the report. This research aimed to study and document the 19th to 20th century earthen heritage of the Ararat Valley, focusing on its architectural features, construction techniques, and cultural value. The study highlights three examples: the House of Culture in Get Azad, a residential complex in Verin Artashat, and St. Hovannes Church in Norashen. Methods and findings. The project addressed the current challenges in preserving earthen heritage and highlighted the limited scope of existing research. Through fieldwork, material analysis, archival study, and interviews, we examined the cultural and technical significance of the structures and proposed practical preservation solutions. Non-invasive methods, including photogrammetry and structural analysis, were used to assess the building's condition. A GIS map was created to illustrate the distribution of earthen churches. Architectural measurements were conducted for two buildings, while photogrammetry schematics were developed for two others. The research finding aimed to enhance the understanding of earthen architecture and its relevance to modern sustainable construction practices. During the 19th and 20th centuries, a new phase of earthen architectural heritage emerged and developed in the Ararat Valley and its surrounding regions, primarily shaped by the settlers of 1828. Following the Treaty of Turkmenchan in 1828, around 45,000 people from Persian-controlled territories resettled in the Ararat Valley and nearby areas. These settlers, influenced by Persian culture and the scarcity of other natural building materials in their original homelands, primarily used earth as a construction materials. The earthen residential economic complexes can be classified into two types based on their structural functional characteristics. The first type consists of primitive earthen dwellings, which are smaller in size and were originally intended as temporary residences. After the construction of a larger residential house, these initial dwellings were repurposed as economic units. The second group includes more complexes, residential economic complexes distinguished by their elaborate structures. Particularly notable are the two-story houses with spacious wooden balconies, entrances, and windows adorned with decorative trims and other stylistic embellishments. To present this type of heritage, we have selected a house located in the village of Verin Artashat. We conducted interviews with the owner, photographed and aerially surveyed the house, and created a photogrammetric scan of the structure. The house is situated in the northern part of the village, near the historic Twin archaeological site. Due to the uneven terrain in this area, the house appears as a single-story structure from the street side, but has two stories with spacious balconies on the courtyard side. The building measures 11 meters in length and 4.5 meters in width, whereas annexes added over different periods surrounded it on the courtyard side. Stylistically, the house was built in the first half of the 20th century and has undergone at least one major renovation. In 1959, the owner, Bahtoyan, left the street-facing facade in pink polished roof, removed the wooden balcony on the same side, and installed a metal roof. The first floor of the house consists of two rooms, each with separate entrances facing the courtyard. The left side room, which is smaller in size, has a single window facing the courtyard, while the right side room has two windows facing the same direction. Wooden stairs leading to the spacious second floor balcony are also located on the courtyard side. The balcony spans the entire length of the building and measures 2.40 meters in width. The main living spaces of the building are situated on the second floor. This section consists of a hallway and two rooms, has its main entrance opening onto the large balcony. Natural light is provided by two side windows and three windows facing the courtyard. All of the windows are 1.70 meters high and 1.10 meters wide. At the far end of the 1.80 meter wide hallway, there was once a small wooden balcony which was removed and the exterior wall was clad in two. The interior doorways are 0.70 meters wide and the ceiling height of the room is 3.30 meters. A smaller earthen dwelling still stands in the courtyard. After the construction of the main two-story house, this smaller structure was repurposed for economic use. On the right side of the house, the remains of a collapsed Tonraton traditional bakery room are still visible. The house once belonged to wealthy men who served as the village head during the Soviet period. His heirs abandoned the property and sold it in 2007. Norashen Saint Hovannes Church. Rural churches serve as classical examples of the 19th to 20th century earthen heritage of the Ararat Valley. Earthen churches built between 1830 and 1910s generally follow a three-nave layout oriented east to west. They were constructed using mud bricks, layers of clay mortar applied through rained earth method, or a combination of both. In some cases, stone was used as a foundation. Columns of these churches were made of wooden logs, which were also incorporated into the load-bearing walls or attached to them for roof support. The roofs were covered with logs, straw, and clay plaster. Fired bricks were sometimes used in earthen churches, particularly for constructing altar walls, arch, and entrance and window frames, and decorative elements around the main entrance. Additionally, the Ararat Valley contains small rectangular earthen chapels with irregular layouts. The Norashe Saint Hovannes Church is a three-nave basilica measuring 18.60 by 10.80 meters. Its roof was made of wooden logs, straw, and clay plaster, was supported by three pairs of wooden columns and an eastern apse. The prayer hall itself measured 11.80 by 8.80 meters, with a single entrance on the western side of the south wall. A non-professional demolition west of the original door created a new entrance with a concrete frame and iron door. Art niches included one with a stone baptismal font are sent into the eastern side walls of the prayer hall. Doors embedded in the upper eastern wall lighten the load and improve acoustics. Rectangular sacristies flank the altar's arched apse. Small stones with engraved crosses are embedded in various parts of the church walls. The structure has 8 windows. The altar is topped with a finely crafted fired brick dome. Fired bricks were also used for the altar's arch vault, entrance frame, and decorative arch windows, arcs, and niche frames in the prayer hall. The mud brick walls varying 0.95 meters thick extend from the foundation to the top. The bricks are either rectangular or square. Interior walls are finished with a 0.8 centimeter chip-based mortar layer covered by gypsum. A preserved inscription stone records the church's construction in 1872. It features a cross and the inscription, "I, unworthy servant Hartun, made this church in memory of the priest." So Hartun is the builder. Also of interest is the early base located in the northern part of the church prayer hall. Similar architecture details can be found in many other churches across the region. The House of Culture of Getazat village. In the pre-Soviet period, rural settlements typically had only one public center, which was usually formed around the village church, the latter often being the only public building. During the Soviet period, this center shifted and the construction of public and partial domestic buildings became crucial for the architecture of rural settlements. In the case of the Ararat Valley, the majority of these public buildings were initially made of earth. The monument was built in 1935, designed by architect Dovsanyan. The House of Culture is located at the center of the village and plays a key role in the settlement's urban layout. The building's two main entrances open into the vestibule, which serves as the central space connecting the theatrical and club sections, with the foyer and club rooms arranged around it. The colpost office and library reading room were originally located on either side of the vestibule. Later, the right side room became the Culture House Director's office. From the vestibule, two entrances lead into the area where a ticket was positioned between them. The performance area formed a unified architectural block, including the foyer auditorium stage and four adjoining rooms. The auditorium, designed perpendicular to the main facade, connects to the foyer, which extends to both sides with semicircular ends containing three windows, each for natural lighting. Two entrances from the foyer lead into the 280-seat auditorium, which has a height of 5.550 meters and is lit by four small high-set windows on each long wall. The wooden floors are missing in both the auditorium and adjacent rooms. Behind the stage are two rooms, one large, one small, with direct stage accesses, while side rooms also open to the courtyard. The auditorium has two additional entrances on the long sides, all leading into the village garden, reinforcing the culture house's central connection to the rural park. Conclusions. For the study and presentation of this phase of Irton heritage, we have highlighted one example each of residential, religious, and public structures from various settlements in the Ararat Valley. Until the 1950s, earth was the primary construction material used in architecture. From the 1950s onward, various types of stones began to be incorporated. Today, more than 2,000 churches and chapels, a dozen public buildings, and thousands of residential complexes remain in the region. Now, many of these structures have not been properly studied or presented in scholarly literature. Given that earth is no longer used in contemporary architecture, the research and conservation of these earthen complexes becomes a critical professional issue, especially for the fields of public archaeology, historical architecture, and such research is essential to document this unique phase of architectural culture in the new era. These are references, and thank you.